Yeah, hi Himanshu.
Hello.
So Himanshu, just give me another 2-3 minutes. Let's wait for other people and then we are gonna continue. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Himanshu. So all join. We can continue now. So guys, welcome to Networkings and it's a demo session for Azure-104. So Himanshu is gonna deliver this entire batch. So Himanshu, over to you. Will continue.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with a little introduction. Let's introduce ourselves first so that we can connect together. So that will be easy to understand, right? So my name is Himanshu. Okay. And I'm working in this cloud computing field since 2019. I have worked on multiple clouds platforms like Azure, AWS, and GCP. These all. So here we will discuss about the cloud computing, and then after that we will move on to the Azure cloud. Okay. So can we do a quick intro, like what is your name and what you are doing currently? What is your qualifications and what you are expecting with this course? Just a quick intro.
Yeah,
You,
my name is Chiktas Yunga. I'm joining from Germany.
okay.
Presently, I hold qualification in networking, Cisco Certified Network Associate. I'm presently working in a company here, and my expectation is that I hear Active Directory is in the cloud. And I get this question: how can you, or how does Active Directory work in the cloud, and so on? So that's my expectation, that after having done this course, I'll be able to answer this question and also gain more knowledge about cloud computing in Azure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Anyone next? Prashant.
Yeah, so my name is Prashant and I am working as a network engineer in Capgemini. And my expectation is I want to learn networking in the cloud, how to do networking in the cloud. Because in the current project, like it was told from the management. I have no prior experience in cloud platform. That's why
Okay.
I have enrolled in to learn cloud technology.
Okay. Karan.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi sir, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
My name is Karan and I have been working with a US based company and I have done my CCNA as well as the MCSA. So basically, I'm expecting you to give us the guidance to learn more and get the more knowledge about the cloud and how it works and how the implementations of the Active Directory is done inside the cloud.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Anyone else left? Rahul? Yep.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. My name is Rahul Gupta.
Okay.
Actually, currently I'm working with IBM as a network engineer. Basically, it is a telecom process. So, I want to switch my career from the telecom to cloud.
Okay. Okay. That's great. Last, Shadab.
Yeah, hi, Shada this side, and I am data engineer in Accenture, and I want to learn Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, and Azure Synapse, and other analytical tools of Azure Cloud. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. So now I got to know like what you are doing. So I think I'm considering that you guys all are into like from network background, right? Most of you like from the networking background. So that's cool. If you are know about the networking, then the cloud is also not a big issue for you. So you will be like easily understand everything in the cloud. So let's start with from scratch. Like I'm assuming that nobody knows anything about cloud. Like okay, so we will start from the scratch from zero. Uh, okay, so let start with the. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So today we are going to discuss about the cloud computing, my introduction to cloud computing. Okay, so we will cover these major topics in the cloud computing, like introduction to cloud computing, what exactly it is, right? What is cloud computing? And then we will move to the benefits of cloud computing. And third topic, we will cover about the types of cloud computing, and then what are the service models we have in cloud computing. So it is just an overview of the cloud computing. We are not moving to the Azure right now. First, we will discuss what is cloud computing and why do we need cloud computing. Okay, so when there was no cloud computing, how it was working, infrastructure and all, we will discuss these all topics in this session. Okay, so let me start. Are you able to see this screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The okay, let me share whole window. Yeah. Okay. So let's start from the scratch, right? Suppose you want to start your business, your own business. Okay, you want to start your business and you have a website for that. Suppose you have a e-commerce website, right? So to host that particular website, what do you require? What are the requirements to host that website on the internet? Okay, so when there was no cloud in the picture, what we were doing, first we will discuss about that. Okay, let me show you how it was working earlier. So to deploy a website or anything on the internet, so what we required servers. I think servers, everybody knows what are the servers, right? I'm assuming that everyone knows about the servers. So, and we need routers, switches, storage, these all. Okay, let me write here. So this is, let us assume this is our infrastructure. So what we required to start or to host a website, right? So hame like we need the servers, okay, and then we need routers, and then we need switches, and then we need routers, switches, and then networking, gateways, these like so on. There are so many requirements to deploy a website on the servers internet. We need these particular things. Okay, so what is happening here, right? Suppose you, when you are starting your business, like e-commerce website, to host you need the servers, routers, networking, the whole infrastructure, right? Means you need to buy these things. Aapko you need to buy the servers, you need to buy the routers, you need to buy the switches, networks, these all, right? And after that, when you will buy these things, you need to place somewhere, right? You can't place it anywhere. Okay, for that you need a particular place, like they call data centers, right? If you know about the data centers, so to host, like to deploy these things, we need a data centers. So what are the data centers? In data centers, we reside these servers, routers, switches, and networkings, these all the things whatever we need to host a particular website. So let me write. Okay, so when we want to reside our servers, so we need some manpower for that, to manage the infrastructure, to monitor the infrastructure, right? And we need the electricity, right? When we install a server, we cannot stop it, right? So we need 24 into 7 electricity to the server, and we need the cooling, because the servers are very heatable, like when it is running the whole day and 24 into 7, so we need the cooling for them. Okay, and then we need the internet 24 into 7 to up the servers, right? Is it clear to you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, then yeah, okay. So what is happening here? We need to invest money in the starting. Like before starting your business, we need to invest the money in this infrastructure side, right? So which was very high. Means the principal cost was very high to start a minimum business. Like if I want to start a simple website, or if I want to host a simple website, then also these infrastructure is required to deploy that particular website. Okay, so what was happening here? The principal cost was very high. Okay, so to reduce this cost, to reduce this infrastructure cost, this cloud computing concepts comes in the market. Is it clear?
Yes.
Right. So what was happening here? Let me. mm, yeah, okay. So let me show you how it was working. See, this is our hardware, right? This is my hardware. Let's suppose it's having 200 GB RAM, and we can say 1000 TB is our storage. Okay, we can say this. Initially we are building a infrastructure with 200 GB RAM, and then 100,000 TB storage, right? And if I want to host my website here, so what will be the first step? We need to install an operating system here, right? Suppose I'm installing a operating system here, right? And after that, we can install the software here, whatever we required. Like to host a website, we need IIS service. Then I will install an IIS service here to deploy my website, right? Uh, okay. So what was happening here? I was managing the whole infrastructure, and then after that we need to install the operating system here, then IIS service, and then here we can deploy our website. Yep. Website we can say. Okay. Is it clear? So okay. If you don't know about the IIS server, we can take an example simply like if you want to run Microsoft Office. Okay. What you will require a Windows operating system, which will be installed on a hardware machine. What is our laptop? Our laptop is just a hardware machine. It acts like a server. Okay. On this hardware machine, we are installing a Windows operating system, and then we need to install Microsoft Office on that operating system. And then we can use that a PowerPoint, and we can use Word there with the help of this infrastructure. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So suppose this website is taking only 30 GB RAM, right? And let's say it is taking 100 terabyte of storage. Okay. So what is happening here? Like we are using only 30% GB of the RAM and 100 terabyte of storage. So less remaining is RAM and storage will be waste, because we can deploy only one website on one server, right? So what is happening here? I invested a huge amount of money here to buy these servers and these infrastructure, and I'm using only just, you can say, 20 or 10-30% approximate of this infrastructure. Rest is waste. So what was happening here? The cost was very high to start a minimum business, also like to start anything. Okay. So to overcome this, there is a concept which comes named as hypervisor. Okay. Before cloud computing, uh, there was a concept which called as hypervisor. A hypervisor concept. So let me.
Sir, I have a question.
Yep, sure.
Sir, how many website we can host in a one server?
Okay, so when there was no concept of the hypervisor or cloud computing, so at that time we can host only single website on a server. When the cloud was not in picture, this infrastructure was in use. So that's why it was to figure out like I'm using only 30% or 10% of the infra, and rest was in the waste. Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's move to the next here. Yeah, okay. So now after this hypervisor concept introduced in the market, so in hypervisor what we were doing, suppose this is my infrastructure. Okay, this is my server. You can say this is server. Okay. So when there was no hypervisor, what we were doing, we were directly installing an operating system onto this hardware machine, right? Now, what we are doing here, we will install a hypervisor. Okay, hypervisor. What is hypervisor? So we can understand this like hypervisor is a virtualization of the infrastructure. So hypervisor, we have two types of hypervisor. One is hardware installed hypervisor, and the second is software installed hypervisor, which we will discuss in further lectures. So currently, just understand this is a thing which can create the virtualization, which is doing the virtualization. Okay. So with the help of this hypervisor, what we can do here, we can make more than one servers according to our use. Okay. So here, suppose this was the 200 GB RAM and the 1000 TB was storage. Okay. So now what we can do with the help of this hypervisor, we can create multiple servers. Okay, suppose I need 5 servers. So what I will do here, I will give 40 GB of RAM to this server and some storage, and 40 to this and 40 to this, like this. So we can create more than one servers with the help of hypervisor. Is it clear? Hello? Hello, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it clear?
Yeah. So
Okay.
on one physical machine, we are running multiple servers.
Yeah, we can run multiple servers with the help of hypervisor.
Okay.
Is it
Also
clear?
similar to like it is also similar to like virtual machines, right, sir?
You mean to say these servers?
Yeah, which we are creating on the hardware. It's like virtual machines, right?
Yeah, right. It is the same when which we were doing earlier on the hardware. On that hardware, we were creating directly the servers with the installation of operating system. Right now, here we have the hypervisor. There are so many hypervisor in the market like Citrix, Hyper-V. Have you ever, like, I think the networking guys, you worked on the VMware.
VM
Yes, sir.
player. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
As well as
VM.
Citrix.
Yes, it okay. So that's a hypervisor, example of the hypervisor. We can do the virtualization with the help of these two software, Citrix, VMware, and these. Is it?
Citrix we are using for AWS, right?
Yeah, right. For AWS, Citrix, AWS, and Hyper-V for Microsoft.
For Microsoft.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this whole scenario converts into the cloud computing. Right. So what we are doing here we are managing the infrastructure also, and then we are installing the hypervisor, and we are creating the servers. Right. We are managing the whole infrastructure here, servers, routers, switches, these all. So to overcome this load, cloud computing concepts comes. Right. So what cloud computing is doing in the cloud computing, these all parts like to manage the infrastructure, to create the infrastructure, and to install the hypervisor is managed by the cloud provider. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So we just need to go to the cloud vendor, and if we want a server, we can directly create a server. And if we want any software as a service, we can create that also. Software as a service, we will discuss in this lecture later what is software as a service. So they will managing these whole things, infrastructure to hypervisor. We just need to go to the portal and create these resources. I think the concept is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if not, let's take an real-time example. Okay, let's think about this with the real life example. Suppose you are working in a company. Okay, you are working in a company and you have to move from one city to another city in every 3 months or 4 months, right? So in this scenario, what you will do? Okay, suppose currently you are here in Delhi, and after 3 months you need to move to the Bangalore or any city or any country, right? So you will not make a home there, right? To make a home, you need to buy the field, and then you need to build the whole infrastructure, right? And then you need to design accordingly. Okay, so this is an example of on premises. Like you need to take from the field to the interior, means you are managing everything from scratch to the end. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So except to create your own home, what we can do, we can rent out a PG, or we can rent out a hostel. Like we will just go to the that place, and what we will do, we will rent out the resources. Like there is a PG. Okay, we will have everything there, like bed, room, whatever we need, everything will be there. We just go there and rent that place, and we just need to pay for the 3 months only. We don't need to pay for the 4 months or the whole for whole infrastructure. We just go there and rent out that place. So we can understand this with this example. I think this is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the cloud computing, same. What we are doing, we will go to the cloud provider. We will rent out the resources from the cloud provider, and we will pay only for the resources there.
Sir, I have few questions.
Yeah.
Sir, before moving towards cloud, what is the minimum things we need to learn?
See, to move to the cloud, there is no pre-requirement. You just need the internet only. There
No,
is
no,
no
no.
requirement. Yeah.
I'm not saying this. I'm
Yeah.
saying like a minimum requirement, like we should know about the routing and switching, firewall, load
No,
balancing.
no. You should know about these things, but you are not managing these things. Only you have to go to the portal. You just use the service resources, you can say, and everything will be managed by the cloud provider. These switches, routers, these will be managed by the cloud provider only. But yeah,
Yes,
you should.
like
Yeah,
hmm,
go ahead, go ahead.
like I'm a beginner. I have a good understanding about the routing and switching, but I don't have knowledge about the firewall and the load balancer. So can I see my career into the cloud, or should I know before this? It's like we should know firstly routing, load balancer or firewall.
No, there is no need to understand, like there is no need to be any prerequisite about these things. You can carry on with this. Like if you don't know anything about the cloud or anything about the networking, you can learn easily. There is no prerequisite of these things.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's move to the slide. I think the concept of cloud computing is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, let's see the this standard definition of a cloud computing. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. Okay, means you just need the internet and you can access it anywhere, right? You just need the internet only. Computing services including common IT infrastructures such as virtual machines, storage databases, and networking. As we discussed, like we don't need to manage anything from infrastructure side. Everything will be managed by the cloud provider. We just go to the cloud provider and use the services according to our use only. This is the standard definition of a cloud computing. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's move to the next point of the next slide is benefit of cloud computing. Okay. The first point is scalability. Okay. As we are understanding with the name of this benefit is scalability. Scalability means which we can increase and decrease, right? Like, let's take that previous example. Suppose, okay, which we were discussing about that on-premises one, right? In on-premises, what we were doing, we were having 200 GB of RAM. 100 GB. RAM and storage was 1000 TB. Okay. Okay, right. Okay. So suppose currently I'm using 200 GB RAM and that 1,000 terabyte of storage, right? Suppose in future I want to increase this infrastructure. Like currently my user is just 1 lakh or 2 lakh, but in future my users are increasing. So what we will require at that time, we need more servers, right? Everything like whole infrastructure. Again, I need to buy the servers, the routers, switches, storage, RAMs, these things. Again, I need to buy these things, right? So again, I need to pay for the infrastructure, for the hardware. But in cloud computing, there is a benefit of scalability. You can easily increase your resources and decrease your resources. Suppose currently I have a VM of, you can say, 2 GB of RAM and 500 gigabytes of uh, storage, right? And two core CPUs. I have that virtual machines. But in future, after 1 month or 2 months, I want to scale up that particular virtual machine. Now I want 4 GB of RAM and then 500 of 1 terabyte of storage and so on. So we can easily scale up our resources in the cloud computing. There is no need to buy the hardware or to invest that much in the infrastructure side. So what we are doing here, suppose currently I am using 4 GB. Now I move to the from 2 GB to the 4 GB of RAM. But in future, my requirement goes down. My users are less now. Now I want to go back to that 2 GB RAM only. So we can easily scale down also the resources. Is it clear? Hello.
Mm.
Is it clear to everyone, the scalability? Give me some input at least so that I can understand that you are.
Yes.
Yep.
So it is like we will it's not we will increase or decrease through some like software. We are not going to like attach a physical 8 GB RAM or 4 GB RAM. We can do it from remotely, right? Virtually.
Yeah, we can do it virtually as we discussed earlier, like cloud is in virtual form. Everything is in virtual form. The whole infrastructure we are using here in virtual form. So
Okay.
there is no need to buy anything or you need to pay the whole infrastructure cost. And in this on premises, there was a disadvantage also, like as we discussed, like suppose now my usage goes down and I'm using only 100 GB and 500 terabyte of storage. So at that time, I'm paying more. Like I already bought these infrastructure, but I'm using just 50% only. So I can't sell out my servers. Okay, because when once we buy the server, so then after that the price is goes down if you was going to sell the servers and all, right? So we are not wasting the money here, which comes under the second point, cost effective. So we can relate this with the cost effective, like we are paying only what we are using. See, suppose currently you are using 2 GB one, 2 GB RAM and 100 GB of storage. And now, suppose you can say you have a sale on your website, right? We can take this example, like you have a sale on your website. So at that time, traffic will be high, right? Suppose sale you have only for 5 days. So for that time period, you required more servers, more CPUs. So in the cloud, what we will do, we will rent out more resources. We will just easily scale up our resources, and then after 5 days, we will downgrade the resources. So what happened here, when we increase the resources, scale up our resources, so only for those resources we will pay for the 5 day only. We don't need to pay for the whole infrastructure. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, the next point is availability and reliability. Okay. So, in this on-premises, okay. So, for the on-premises infrastructure, suppose your company is in Delhi, right? You have that infrastructure in Delhi. Okay. So, in case of disaster, like suppose uh, there will be a disaster or any natural calamities, like your data center is blasted or something like that. Okay, so at that time what will happen? Your user will not connect with the website. Means at that time you have the downtime for that particular time period. So cloud computing assure that 24 into 7 availability. They will give you 24 into 7 availability. Your user will not face any problem at any time, right? And then reliability. Reliability comes with the security. Like suppose you have a database, okay, database of your customers and your vendors, whatever it is, which is sensitive data. So you don't want to you don't want that data will be breached or anything will happen to that data. So cloud ensure that your data will be safe.
Sir, I have a question.
Yep, sure.
My question is that how the hardware is kept, like when the cloud, if we are going to, we are moving into cloud, so how they keep the hardware in their storage?
Okay, so that we will cover in the future lecture, but let me tell you. So we can take an example of this Azure side, right? So they have the regions all over the world. Approximately they have 60 regions all over the world, right? And they have some availability zones in those regions. And in those availability zones, they have their data centers. Okay, like suppose we can take an example of like in India, they have data center in Mumbai. Okay, so they have data center in Mumbai, and in one region at least three availability zone is available. So your data is replicated to the three data centers. If any disaster comes to a any data center, so your data is safe in other data center. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. The
Okay.
basic is also, you have also told us, right, sir? The basic concept is same, the keeping the hardware like that, the hypervisor.
Yeah, that is on premises data center. Okay. Now let's move to this next point: lowered complexity of IT infrastructure management. Lowered complexity of IT infrastructure management. Like let's take an example that previous e-commerce website. Suppose you don't know how to manage the servers, you don't know how to install the servers, you don't know how to install the hypervisor, you don't know how to replicate the servers, storage and networks, you don't know anything about the infrastructure, right? So with this cloud computing, this is very easy to deploy the website, to manage the website. Means we can directly focus to our on main product, right? So there is no need to manage the infrastructure. Means you can say approximate 70% of headache is cloud providers. They are managing the cloud providers. So there is no need to understanding about the infrastructure side also if you are using the cloud computing. So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last but not least, this benefit is on-demand self-service. On-demand means whenever you need a service, they will give you. Means suppose you want a server in the night or day, anytime, you can just go to the portal and create your own server. Self-service means there is no need to hire someone. Like if I want to create a server, if I want to deploy a website by my own, so I just go to the portal, I will create the machine, I will install the ICE server, and then I can deploy that website on that server. Means on demand, whenever we need, we can go to the portal and create the machines over there, resources, whatever we want. Um, is there any question about this slide? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's all clear to you. Now let's move to the next slide. Types of cloud computing. So we have three types of cloud computing. The one is public cloud, and the second is private cloud, and third is hybrid cloud. So public cloud, let's discuss about the public cloud. As we can say public cloud means which is available publicly, right? We can say like there is a something which is available publicly. You can take an example of the AWS, Azure, these are the public clouds, right? We can go to the portal, we just go to the portal, sign up, and then we can use whatever we want. We can make the resources there, we can deploy website there, like anyone can go there and then use the services. And we can take an example, a real life example, as we use the Gmail, right? Gmail is a public cloud, like anyone can access from anywhere, right? Currently I'm sitting here in my laptop, I just go to the Google and log in my Gmail ID here, and if someone is in other country or at other place, they can also access that at the same time. Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. And the second is private cloud. So private cloud, what is private cloud? Private, as we can understanding by the name, private, which is something which is private to a particular thing. Okay. Suppose you have an organization, right? And you have a on-premises of cloud, okay, infrastructure, on-premises infrastructure. So that is a example of private cloud. Means you are managing everything by your own. Means a infrastructure which is dedicated to a particular organization, that is private cloud. Except you, nobody can use that cloud. So same in public cloud, we have the private cloud also. Means suppose that let's take an example of Azure. Okay, Azure cloud provider, which is public cloud provider, but they provide private cloud also, but that is in virtual form, right? Means they will give you the dedicated infrastructure which will be dedicated to your organization only. So this is the simple definition, like which is dedicated to a particular organization, that is a private cloud. Now the third one is hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is a combination of private and public. So why we are using the hybrid cloud? Okay, so we take the advantages from the public cloud and the private cloud and makes this hybrid cloud. So what advantages we have in public and private, we are using in this hybrid cloud. So let's take an example of that e-commerce website. Okay, so there is a front end and back end. Front end which users are accessing. Okay, front end your website which end users are accessing. Okay, so what we can do, we can put that front end to the public cloud. Means we don't need any private cloud for the user interface, because that is available publicly. Okay, and we are taking the private cloud here. Suppose in your website there is a database, right? Which have the sensitive information. So which we will deploy into the private cloud. Means we will use public and private both in the hybrid cloud. For the public interface, we will go to the public cloud, and for the sensitive data which don't want to breach, we will go with the on-premises data, cloud in the hybrid. It is the combination of these.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you are, what are the main difference between private and public? It's like a IP is accessible from the public or the.
No. So the main difference in the public and private, the first one is cost. Okay. For the public cloud, cost will be less, and for the private cloud, cost will be high. Okay. Let's take an example of real life example. Okay. Suppose you want to read a book. Okay. You want to read a book. So there are two options. You can go to the library and you can take from the library that book, and you will read the book, and after that you will return that book, right? Means what you have done, you take the resource for some time, right? Means you rented that resource for some time period, and after the use you returned it. Means now you did this, now I want the same book, I will go to the library, and then I will issue that book, I will read and return. Means that is a public resource, anybody can use. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The same example comes to the private cloud. With the same book, suppose you don't want to go to the library and don't want to issue from the library, suppose you go to the shopkeeper and you buy that particular book, and you take that book, right? Means now it's a private property, only you can use that book, no, all users cannot use that book. Is it clear?
Yes,
Means
sir.
you invested some money here, and it was just like you can say, if you are, the book cost is 300 or 500, and here you are paying only 50. So public cloud is less expensive and private cloud is most expensive as
And
compared to
private cloud should be more expensive due to the security reason, right, sir? It's
yeah,
more secure.
yeah, right. As we discussed here, this was the on premises, like this is dedicated to your organization only, so this is more secure as compared to public cloud. But public cloud is also secure, but this is more secure as compared to public.
And sir, let's say we have 10 10 servers in the private cloud, right? So,
Okay.
their IP will be like public or the private and subnetting, and what will the concept of IP, managing IPs? Like we have, like if we have 10 server, right? Private servers.
Okay.
So how the 10 servers are managed, like in related to the IP addressing?
I'm not getting your question. You are trying to saying like I have two networks. One is public and one is private,
Yes.
right? है ना?
Yeah.
And you have 10 virtual machines in your private network,
Right,
right?
right, right.
So you want to access those all the machines.
Yes, yes.
So
So my question is that the IP will be the public or the private IP
okay.
in those 10 servers.
If
In
you
10
are
servers.
using a private, if you are creating a private virtual machines, so then the IP address should be private only.
Okay.
Right.
But the private IP cannot be accessed with the, like if you want to host a website, that private IP cannot be accessed with the end user, right, sir?
Yeah. So there are other ways to deploy that site for the end users. You can't deploy a user interface on private IP because private IP is not accessible to any all, as you said. So there are other ways we will discuss when we will start our that is your side. We will discuss this later. That's in detail. Don't worry. It's just an introduction. So we are
I have
just
a question, sir.
yeah.
When I store pictures in the cloud, for example, I'm using a Google Pics and my information is in the cloud. Is that a private or a public cloud?
Can you repeat it?
I have my handy, and my handy I have pictures, and these pictures I've bought some space. I've bought some cloud resources where I put pictures there. My pictures just go to the cloud. So can I assume that is a private cloud or a public cloud? Can
That's on
someone
a
access?
yeah, no, not anyone can access because you have the credentials for that. Yeah, like you need the credentials to access on the public cloud also, but that is not in a private cloud, that is in a public cloud, because we can understand this. Let me tell you, just give me a minute. Okay, so okay, okay, these are the three users. Okay, three phones we can say. So this also have the pictures, this one also have the pictures, right? And this one also have the pictures, right? You are saying that I want to push these pictures in the you can say you're on a drive, Google Drive. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Google
Right.
Drive. Yeah.
Okay. So suppose you are pushing your pictures into the Google Drive, right? This is the Google Drive, we can say. Okay. All these three mobiles have the pictures in Google Drive, but Google Drive is hosted on a server, right? There should be a server from we are getting these pictures and we are putting these pictures in that particular storage. Let's say this is the server. This is the server. Okay. When we are uploading our pictures into this Google Drive, all are going to the storage in this server storage. Okay. So this is the public cloud, not a private cloud. But where suppose your pictures are in this storage one, and the second for the second storage for the second user there should be a storage two. Okay, so this is dedicated to you only. Other user can't access this storage. Same with goes this one. So that particular storage is dedicated to you only in that whole server. This is called resource pooling. Is it clear?
Okay. Yeah, sir.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is called resource pooling. Like when we create a virtual machines, okay, so there is a server, single server, right? So we have like more than 1,000 servers, virtual machine in this server. Suppose 50 for a single user, 50 for other user, 50 for third user. So like this, this is the resource pooling. We will discuss this in our lecture in detail. Don't worry. So this is a
Yeah.
public cloud only. This is not private cloud.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I have another question. How
Yeah.
can I take if I have a server or get this in, like for example an industry situation?
Yeah.
How does the server get to the cloud? How do they transfer this infrastructure to the cloud that you can access? You have a physical server in the company, and then they say this server is in the cloud, or they want to bring this server to the cloud. How do they do that? Or what does that mean?
Okay, you are saying that suppose there is organization, they have on-premises infrastructure and they have their VMs in the on-premises infrastructure and they want to move to the cloud, right?
Yeah, they say they want to bring these things to the cloud.
Okay. So,
What does that mean, and how do they do it?
okay. So there are some process that's called migrations. Okay. So we create the infrastructure for in the cloud side. Like we take any cloud provider, let's say Azure. So whatever is the requirement of that particular organization, whatever they have in their on premises. So first we will do the assessment for that infrastructure, whole infrastructure, what they have in the infrastructure. And according to that, then we will design a whole infrastructure to the cloud side, and then we will do the migrations from on premises to the cloud. This is the process from moving from on premises to the cloud. There are migration tools also which we use in the migration process. Is it clear?
That is clear. Okay.
Yep. I think we are running out the time. So do you have any question, guys, till this slide?
I have
Whatever.
something different. I have a different question.
Yeah, tell me.
Are we following the Azure syllabus for 104 Azure 104 syllabus, or what are we following? Sorry, maybe I missed something.
We are following Azure-104, AZ-104.
Okay.
Yep.
All
So
right.
this was the basic concept of cloud computing before going to the Azure AZ-104. First, we need to know about the cloud computing. What is the cloud computing? So this is just an introduction about the cloud computing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
And even guys, this is 104. However, we are running this AZ 104, 500, 700. So all the modules are there. So you can start with this and you can upgrade later on for the advanced also.
Okay.
So I shared on WhatsApp number. If in case anybody have any question, you can connect my team. They can help you with the queries.
Okay. Is that your number then?
Yeah, the WhatsApp number is there.
Okay. Networkings.
Yes, even if you want my number, I'm the manager, so you can approach me. I'm sharing my number directly. So this is my number.
Okay.
So guys, thanks for the today's session, and we'll continue from Wednesday for the continuing classes. Okay.
So is it tomorrow then?
Tomorrow there is no class. We are just taking a 1 day break, and from Wednesday we are going to continue the session. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so all right. But do we have well, it is said that when you register for a course, you have some videos, access to videos of past batches.
Yes. So
but-
whenever somebody is enrolling, so he'll getting a previous batch videos in that particular course. So that's supposed today you're joining the class. If you want to refer the something or you want to ask a question, at least you have some materials to do the self-study also that you can do it.
But I register for the course. I don't have past videos.
Okay. So you already enrolled, correct?
Sorry?
You already enrolled.
I've already enrolled for the course, yes.
So you must be receiving one email from support team. If you're not, I'll just check tomorrow. I'll just get back to you. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.